So just in case you wanted more reasons to hate Riot Games just added a $400 Faker Ari skin to the game. Now this skin is for T1 Faker because they won the tournament recently, which congratulations to them. I watched the tournament even though I don't play League. It was fun to watch. And for those who don't play League, to give you some context on Faker, Faker is arguably the best player in the world, so it makes sense that his skin would be expensive, but 59,260 Riot points is about $400 USD in real money. And that's a lot of money for a skin in League of Legends. And I guess the skin looks cool. I think it's a cool looking skin. I'm also a sucker for the color red though, so that definitely plays into why I like it. And spending $400 is not the only option to get this. It is on the battle pass and you have to unlock it by unlocking 100 levels. I don't know how long that takes in League, probably a long time because it takes a long time in every game. But if you were to buy the skin outright, it would cost you $400, which is a lot of money for a skin in a video game. And can you believe this all started with the Horse Armor DLC in 2006? I can't believe that. That is truly the butterfly effect. Bethesda sells horse armor for like $2. And then almost 20 years later, a skin in League of Legends costs $400. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a minute, you probably know by now that I have a mixed opinion about DLC and microtransactions. I think at this point, they're kind of necessary for games, but at the same time, I don't like being nickel and dime. So for example, Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 does a pretty good job with microtransactions. You get a good amount of premium currency in game basically for free, and the actual updates are pretty substantial, and it costs like $10 for each little update. But you can get that money in game pretty quickly. And Helldivers does not make me feel like I'm being nickel and dime, which is really important for a game that I already paid for. Like I paid $40 for Helldivers. So that game better not be trying to nickel and dime me because I already bought it. I understand that live service games need money to continue upkeep. I get that. And that's why I'm okay with there being microtransactions in that game. And their superstore, which is like the paid armor section, is super non-invasive. It doesn't bother me to check out the latest deals or whatever the hell, like most games do. So I appreciate that. But then you have DLC like Call of Duty. And Call of Duty used to be good. But now it's stuff like $8 Kong gloves, which is silly. Like this is dumb. But Call of Duty used to have a pretty good system. Now, at the time, they were the worst because no one else was doing DLC. But they used to have season passes and then quarterly DLC updates. So every quarter of the year, they'd release like a $15 to $25 DLC pack, and it would have a bunch of maps and new skins and stuff like that. And I personally, as a kid and now, don't mind this form of like DLC. I think it's totally fair. You pay for what you want and you get it. And $16 for like 6 extra maps is totally fair in my opinion. And this way of doing DLC does have issues. For example, it starts splitting the player base because only so many people have all the DLCs or whatever. So smaller and smaller chunks of the player base follow over with every DLC. So I understand why they stopped doing it. You can also see this kind of issue in games like Civ because Civ has a huge list of DLC. And recently we played a Civ game and we were all sitting around asking who is the DLC and who doesn't. So I get why doing that method of DLC has gone to the wayside. It splits up the player base, which is obviously what they don't want because that kills your game. And if you want to find the spatnz viewer base, please subscribe down below. Thank you. But nowadays, most microtransactions of DLC are total scams. Like you'd be better off never playing these games to begin with. Games that are prioritizing microtransactions over actual playable content are literally just screwing you over. So like a small subset of the population that spends a bunch of money can have a good time. COD is definitely the most recent offender, but games like FIFA and Madden and all those sports games, they're also horrible in that regard. Like you literally might as well just not play them. It is a losing game, especially those sports games. I swear those are just pay to win. Like I'm pretty sure they're just pay to win. And buying a game for full price only to be at a disadvantage because you didn't spend more money doesn't sound very fun, does it? At least with COD as of now, it's not pay to win that I know of. And skins that don't affect gameplay is also not pay to win, but it sucks. I'd rather just unlock skins in game. That is a fun way to unlock skins. It feels like I'm working towards something. And I saw a lot of people defending the Ahri skin in League by saying it's a collector's item and it makes sense that it's this expensive. And I agree, but also disagree. Like, yeah, it's technically a collector's item, okay, but it is artificially rare. Like, they didn't have to do this. And it's already at the end of the battle pass. They could have just made this an item you had to play to unlock, and then it really would have been a collector's item because the people getting it would have just been diehards who played the game a lot. Like, it is a collector's item that anyone can get. It's still a collector's item because it's still rare. Like, they didn't have to give you the option to spend $400 to get the skin. In old Call of Duties used to actually grind to get the gold gun. And I like it that way, okay? It's fun, it's interesting. Because if I did play League of Legends on a regular basis, whenever I saw the Faker Ari skin, I would just assume someone spent $400. But if they actually had to level up the battle pass to get it and not just spend money, I would assume they're really good at the game and have played way more than me. They have different auras. I also don't think you can call it a collector's item if you can't trade it or sell it. Like, yeah, it's a collector's item that you can't do anything with. I am sure in 3 years or whatever, there's gonna be a lot of people who want this Faker Ari skin, and they won't be able to get it because there's no trading for League. Even though they would pay, you know, thousands of dollars for it, you can't trade it to collect. So I really don't get the collector's argument here because you can't trade it or sell it. You have to sell your whole account. And I don't even think that's okay in Riot terms of service. So yeah, I don't know if I would consider this a collector's item because you can't do anything with it. Like, yeah, if you play League and you main Ahri or something, it might be a collector's item for you. But I don't know, something about the label of collector's item makes me feel like you should be able to sell it if it really was a collector's item. Like Beanie Babies were considered collector's items. And a lot of people had a lot of Beanie Babies. And ever since they were worth nothing, I don't see a single person talking about Beanie Babies anymore. And I could totally just have a weird perception of the word collector. But like, for example, when I think about CSGO skins being collector's items, those items also have actual value because people will buy them for that much money. You could actually sell them for that much money. Like, there's some CS2 skins that are so valuable and sought after that you can't buy them on the Steam marketplace because the price allowed in the Steam marketplace doesn't go high enough. You can also take CSGO skins and sell them for real money, which like has real tangible value. Now, some of those sites are sketchy and I'd be wary of using them, but overall, I think CSGO skins are way more collector's items than like this Ahri skin, for example. Now, if you could trade skins in League of Legends, I would agree. This is a collector's item. But since you can't trade skins, I don't know. I just feel like you're getting scammed because once the money goes in, it can't go out. You're stuck with it. And like, yeah, I guess in a vague sense, it is like a collector. Like if you're gonna go by the actual definition of collector, but outside of the literal definition, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it to me. It feels like a scam. And I think calling it a collector's item is just mega cope. And also, what happens when every skin at the end of the battle pass costs $400? Because that's probably what's gonna happen, let's be real here. This is probably just the start of the entire battle pass costing $400 to unlock, because why would they lower it? They have people on Twitter defending them calling collectible items. So yeah, why would they lower the price? Like, this is just the start of them charging this much money for the skin. It is going to continuously go up. Why wouldn't it? Also, it's not really a microtransaction if it's almost the cost as a PS5. Like, this is a whole ass transaction. Like, this is a car payment for a lot of people. This is some grade A whale bait, okay? And if you've never heard that term before, basically in the industry, they call people who spend a lot of money in games whales because they're fat and they give them money. And whales make up a super small subset of the population, but they make majority of the money for the game. Like, these people are genuinely extremely wealthy and they just spend absurd amount of money in games because they have absurd amounts of money. So if you want to know who's buying these microtransactions, it's them. It is a subset of the population that is so wealthy that they just buy things because why not? But with microtransactions getting more and more insane, I imagine a lot of players are going to start splitting and all the whales are going to keep playing AAA games because they love spending money. And all the people who are tired of being nickel and dimed are going to go play indie games. This is what I personally noticed I've been doing and some friends of mine have also been doing. So my take is entirely anecdotal, but yeah, are you getting tired of being nickel and dimed? I am. I just want to play a game and have a good time and not have it prompt me to spend $8 for a Kong glove or $4 Ahri skin. And League of Legends also has a little bit more of a pass because League is free. If League also costs money, oh my god, I'd be flaming it right now because that would be insane. But the fact that it's free gives it a little bit more leeway. But still, personally, I'm not a fan of this. I wish it wasn't so expensive. I wish microtransactions in general were not so expensive. I don't think they should be. And it'd be really cool if these companies made stuff that you actually could earn in-game. That's actually cool and good and not purposely worse than the things that cost money to get you to buy the things that cost money. Like, that'd be sick. If I could play a game and actually unlock stuff in the game and only get it by playing the game, that would be sick. That'd be amazing. It'd be like gaming again, actually. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. New follow me on Twitter, @spatnz. One click answer, check out more of my content, and have a good one.